In the Frost Clan Tournament 1, the winner was Coeval. The tournament was double elimination with 30-second long turns, random maps, and the best of 3 for the finals. He won every game, so he stayed in the winner's bracket, but because it was double elimination and he lost in the semifinals, it put him in the loser's bracket, and then he had to play the same person another best of 3 match. So that's why there's 5 games against the player I. This video is meant to highlight all the opportunities that Coeval had to use Arcane Flash and sync an opponent. There are other ways to use Flash that I do not go into detail about, such as clearing area to tower or to summon minions, etc. I'm not claiming that any of these would be the objectively correct move. Some of these may have multiple different angles to sync, and some of them there's just a way better decision to be made. But without further ado, here is game 1. So he starts off versus Clint on Cog's Wasteland, and he could have gone for a first turn flash. This one's a little bit difficult, so I understand why he didn't go for it. Instead he mudballed here. But if you blast from the past to move him slightly over, and you look at these silly little clouds, you can just hit him right in between them. Bonk. So he mudballed, Clint flashed, and then he could have come along and blast from the pasted and flashed since he didn't earlier. So that's turn 1 and turn 3 where he could have sunk Clint. And then fast forward all the way to his next opportunity on turn 25. Right here, I'm sure you see the flash. You just gotta boink that land and then knock him in between the tree, mudball, cloud, and off the map. So his second game was versus Ink on jungle, and this was the only obvious flash the entire game because the walls are lined with terrain. So you fly up 3 times, try to figure out which blast from the past angle would be the best. Panic a little bit, obviously, because it's official. And you know that you don't have time, so you're going to have to deflight to get this flash, but it's going to be fucking sick. So you might as well do it. And then his game versus KSS-MSN, it was turn 10 where he could have sunk that guy. Just like that. But he didn't. So then he trees there, as you can see the remnants of the tree. The Armageddon kills the tree, and KSS flashes to get out of the tree. And Coeval had the opportunity to come over here and make a more difficult flash, but quite similar to the last one. And here is later into the game, by turn 56, we have a nice reverse flash easily set up for us. Game 4 was versus Devious on Giants Mountains. The only opportunity to flash really was turn 1. And then in the next game versus Devious, I will not show it, but it's on Snowy Hills, and there were no flashes available due to map generation, Devious playing well with his positioning, and so on. So here's the first best game of 3, which is versus I on Ocean Floor, and turn 15 he could have hit him into that tree and bonked him down into the water. Second game that they played was on Cog's Wasteland, where he could have blasted from the pasted to deflight him and just shoot him to the right off the map. Then game 8, there were no good flashes on Goblin Caves, 0 opportunities. So again here, we have 30-second turns. He doesn't have flight. Also, I want to mention on game 8, there were no flashes because I used glide very effectively and he positioned very well. But here, another kind of straightforward one. You just hit him off the map to the right. And then 2 turns later, since he didn't do that, he's trapped down here. But there's a way out, and in 30 seconds, even without flight, it is possible. And I chose to flash to the left because I thought it was easier, But like I said, you probably could have flashed to the right as well. So now we're on the second best of 3, game 1, Murky Swamp, turn 12. This would have been a possible flash, but he didn't take it. Instead, he did some damage, and then he got damaged. And then here, turn 14, would have been another opportunity to flash, but it wouldn't have ended the game, and, you know, you end the game when you can.